Alright, so as you could probably tell from the title of this video, we will be ranking every God/Goku bloodline from worst to best. Now, I'm mostly doing this, again, I did this like 6 months ago, mostly because all of them have actually been reworked. Every single one that was old has been reworked. So this will be a very cool tier list, just to inform you guys of what's going on. And maybe you can even make your own assumptions based on the video. Comment below, what do you think is the best Goku/God bloodline in the game? Or what is your favorite? I will be reading the comment. Anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe, and let's go right to the video, guys. And the coming in 11th place is going to be Diva Rengoku. Now, I'm not going to talk about just how bad this bloodline is. It's like beating a dead horse, honestly. There's no reason to do it. There's no reason to talk about it. You guys know this bloodline's bad. There's a bunch of stuff that's wrong with it. It is by far the worst Goku in the game. It has so many things wrong with it. I've talked about all of it before in the video, so I'm sure you guys know about it by now, which is why nobody farms this boss anymore. But overall, I do think Diva Ren is a very cool bloodline, but being cool doesn't necessarily make you instantly good. So coming in at 10th place is going to be the Sunboku. This is the Sunboku Inferno skin, black and blue, you know what I'm saying? That's what you're going to be after I beat you up in game. When it comes to Sunboku Inferno, this is the third mode, by the way. I do think the third mode is the best mode of Sunboku in general, just because Sunboku... Oh, that just move stacked. Okay. But genuinely, Sunboku really just isn't that great of a bloodline. That's why it's going to be in 10th place. It has a lot of faults, like the first ability has too much end lag. The second move is an easily replaceable stun. Ton of other stuns that are actually better, or just better in a lot of different scenarios. And the counter is by far one of the single worst counters in the entire game. Yeah, this ability can trigger their counter. The flames that they leave afterwards, people could just immediately counter because it does have gaps in it. And then boom, now you're the one getting countered after previously using your counter. So now you don't have an iframe. So I feel like that kind of makes Sunboku instantly garbage. Combined with the fact that the first ability just has way too much end lag to be useful at all. The mode is okay though. I heard that if you liked this video right now, you are guaranteed to get the single best God bloodline in the entire game. Maybe.
I am not liable for you using your spins.
Now coming in 9th place is going to be Doku Tengoku. Now this is the skin Doku Scorpion. I like it a lot more. Some people disagree. Now the single and only reason this will be in 9th place on this list, the first ability is actually usable. I know that's very impressive considering the other two bloodlines that you saw before this. But the first ability is actually a pretty decent block breaker. That's literally it. The mode is actually, I think the mode is very usable, but that doesn't make it good at all. I think the mode is fine as it is. Buffing it might actually make it too broken and stuff like that. The first ability is what's going to land on this list. The counter doesn't even trigger half the time. You see it hit him, but if they're moving at all, it will literally not hit them at all. Like the fact that it's not a lock on targeted attack makes the move pretty terrible in a lot of different combat situations. So why wouldn't you use a counter that hits 100% of the time than one that hits like 20% of the time? But yeah, the first ability definitely does carry it this high in the list though, as if 9th place is very high at all. Now coming in 8th place is actually going to be Tengoku. Now Tengoku, I'm using the skin. I will be using the skin of every single one on this list just to do the ultimate flex against you guys. This is Tengoku Platinum. But for Tengoku's going to become in 8th place because it is a damage priority bloodline. Now, being damage priority is not necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of good things that can come from being a damage-oriented bloodline. But the faults start to come in when it is one of your only 2 bloodlines or even one of your only 3 bloodlines and you're only using the ball ability of Tengoku. Like, if you want to slam your Tengoku balls into someone's face that badly that you're willing to use an entire bloodline slot for it, go right ahead. No one's stopping you. But I will go ahead and warn you guys that Tengoku, being a damage-oriented bloodline, isn't nearly as versatile as the other bloodlines on this list. Hence why it's going to be in 8th place. The coming in 7th place is going to be Satori Rengoku. I'm not going to talk about this that much because I've talked about Satori a lot in the past. The reason why it's going to be 7th place, I'm just going to show you right now. Boom, first ability, wablamo. Just look at the bottom left of the screen. That's all I need to say about the first ability. Insane amounts of damage. Now, I actually really like the second ability of Satori Ren. I really like the fact that it is on the elemental slot abilities, but I do not like the fact of how fast the clones go away. It's reasonable. The clones were broken, so it makes sense. I actually do really like the ability. I do use it sometimes as well. The mode is terrible. I would recommend just never touching Satori Ren mode. But the reason why it's going to be 7th place is mostly because of the first and second ability. I'm not even going to show you the third ability because it is that bad. Okay, I'll show you. It's a ground locked ability that basically knocks someone across the map. So there's that. The coming in 6th place is going to be Forged Rengoku. This is the skin Forged Sengoku. Obviously, guys, guys, the mode is the thing that carries it this high in the list. Weapon spec is an absolutely crazy damage ability. The Z spec is yet another crazy damage ability. The actual abilities are really fine, but there's also better versions of every single one of Forge Ren's abilities. So Forge Ren's abilities are kind of useless in the grand scheme of things in Shindo Life. But if you really need a Z mode, he's twerking. Okay. If you guys really need a Z mode that's actually pretty good and you guys are lacking that, even though there are a lot of good Z modes in this game, Forge Ren might be just right up your alley. The coming in 5th place, it could be Ryan Ren Goku. Now, Ryan Ren, obviously I'm using the skin, like I said before, the ultimate flex. Now, I'm not going to talk about this that much. You guys know what Ryan Ren does. The first ability is a pull ability. It's an iframe. It's really good for comboing because it's really easy to extend with. The second ability is an auto dodge / counter, where if you click on someone, it does a bit of damage to them if you're far away from them and does ragdoll them. I would also like to say that the actual mode at M1s of Ryan Ren are very cool, not to mention the fact that the actual moves are very good as well. It does have a second mode. I'd recommend never using the second mode. I would actually just recommend not using the mode of Ryan Ren at all. It is kind of its weakness. Its strengths are in the first, second, and third ability, mostly because of what I just said. Now, the newest reworked bloodline will be coming in 4th place, Ren Shiki. Now, Ren Shiki will be sneaking itself in at 4th place, mostly because of the second mode, which I do not own, so I cannot show you that. Hopefully, Sunboku, the big boy editor himself, will just, boom, pop it up on the screen right now for you guys. Insane lava M1s, insane absolutely high damage C spec, insane weapon spec. But yeah, the second mode aside, the actual abilities are also pretty good for Ren Shiki. The first ability, obviously, it's like the old Ren Shiki counter, but better because it actually does damage them back. I don't like the second ability. I think it's bad. The fact that it's ground locked, it doesn't last that long, is absolute garbage. It's basically just a combo extending ability. The fact that it's ground locked makes it pretty bad overall. Now, the third ability is just a slam ability. It's like the old third ability, but it is a ragdoll ability, and it does actually stun for a very long time. Now, the C spec is just the old C spec. Nothing else has changed from it. The new weapon spec I actually think is a very cool weapon spec, but in all honesty, it's not, you know, the best thing in the world because it has no hit stun. Reasonably, it has no hit stun because if it had hit stun, it would be one of the most broken weapon specs in the game. But yeah, Ren Shiki, as it stands, I do think it is very good, and the second mode does kind of carry it, other than the first ability. Now, coming in 3rd place is going to be Ryan Gaiden. I don't care if you guys think it's underrated. Okay, maybe I care a little bit, but I think it's good. I think it's good, okay? I think the second ability is good. I think the fact you can body replace him in the middle of it, it's a non-issue in my opinion. I think it's good. I like the third ability. I tend to bait out the counter before I use the third ability, so that the fact that you can use a counter before it hits you doesn't really matter to me. I do agree the first ability is trash from Ryan Gaiden. I do think the first ability is terrible. Definitely needs the end lag removed still. It hasn't happened. The weapon spec is a click ability where if you click on someone, it does a lot of damage to them. C-Spec is a counter ability, which is the first ability, but with no end lag. So I guess that's kind of what the first ability should have been in the first place, I guess. And then the throwable is the Tengoku Q-Spec. So take with it what you will. I'm not going to talk about Ryan Gaiden that much because I'm sure you guys have actually fought this by now if you guys do any PvP in the game, because it is one of the most popular bloodlines in the game right now. But it does have its faults. It does have its benefits, and I do think it is better than the other bloodlines below on this list. And I'm sure a lot of people can actually agree with me. The coming in second place is going to be Ren Goku. Now, I totally do not look like this. I don't look like this, but when it comes to this, the Ren Goku bloodline, I actually think the Ren Goku rework was the most successful out of any of the reworks. They completely changed the bloodline without actually completely changing the bloodline. They basically revamped every single ability of it. All of the abilities are either better, revamped, or just they're just a lot more cool, honestly. Not to mention the fact that the actual Ren Goku abilities, they were all reworked as well, so they all have different values and stuff. They all look different. They all have like different things about them. Like the first ability is now a charge ability, but Ren Goku is going to be coming in a solid second place because it is one of the most versatile modes of the game. I don't care what you say. There is no one that is skilled enough at this game that can fully use Ren Goku mode without somewhat missing out on some utility, because it is such a versatile bloodline. It is so good at so many different things that it is almost impossible to use it to its fullest potential. And I guess that is kind of the fault of the bloodline, that it has a very insanely high skill cap, but it still is very accessible to people, and I do think it is very good. That's why it's going to be in second place on this video. I will be doing a challenge at 200,000 subscribers where I will be eating the world's hottest pepper, and I will regret it, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So if you want to see that, just be ready for that. The company in first place, understandably, will be Shindai Ren Goku. I am using the skin Shindai Ren Yang. And, yeah, the M1's absolutely insane size. The first ability does absolute crap tons of damage to people if they're actually place locked. I don't know why people think the second ability is a bad block breaker. It's basically an unmissable block breaker, and if you use any instantaneous combo ability afterwards, you could actually combo extend off of it. There's not really much else that you would want from that, in my opinion. Also, the third ability is a counter ability. If you place lock them, the clones would do like 200,000 damage to them. It also doesn't show up on your combo damage counter. I don't know why, but it doesn't. And the C-Spec is kind of just, it's kind of like Shindai Kuma C-Spec, but they don't start killing them until you attack them in the first place. I do actually think Shindai Ren is one of the cooler bloodlines in the game, and actually I'm very, very happy it is this good. I'm glad it stayed good for so long, because it's kind of just like, I feel like there should be at least one bloodline that stays good forever. And I think Shindai Ren is a very good one because it does take some time to farm. It does have, you know, its counters, and overall, it's just a really good bloodline. I think it's a very solid first place bloodline for this game. Anyways, guys, it's actually be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe, and hope to see you next one, guys. Peace.